didn't mean, I was gonna just talk and I didn't know if you could record.
No, you are perfect. Welcome to our weekly team call, first team call of 2021. Okay, now I'll kick it off to you because I know you're gonna say something.
Okay, so we were talking about doing these calls every other week, just because with like the power hours and all of the resources that we have, we just want to make our time together the most efficient, and we just also hope that will help turn out. Me and Kate talked today about planning ahead, like topics. We're gonna have guest speakers and trying to do just a little bit more planning for you guys. And yeah, so we'll have more information for that, but I'm glad to see all of your faces. And we also want to provide, like training or stuff that you guys actually need. And so today when we talked, we were like, okay, well, like, what are we hearing the most about? And so we wanted to talk about the topic of how to add value to challenge packs, like how to get those conversations going from just BOD memberships to challenge packs, and just so how we've done it and like what's worked for us. And then also just some tips on how to encourage those customers that have just purchased BOD to potentially become challenge pack people. Yeah, did you want to?
Sorry, I was like letting you go.
Okay, yes. That was all I wanted to say for the intro. I apologize if Violet's butt ends up in this, but
it's fine. Toddler life. So we kind of broke this down into our best tips, and then I actually have slides to show you guys at the end. It's not really anything fancy. I just stole it from another coach right before this call. But so the first thing that is really important that we believe comes with adding value to challenge packs is self-education, because if you don't know the value behind what you're offering, nobody else is going to understand the value either. So and this kind of breaks down to two parts. Amber's going to talk about belief here in a second, but I really want to encourage you guys, if you don't already know, like the price comparisons we were talking earlier about, like how much it is in difference to like gyms. And there are a lot of people right now, even as gyms start opening up in certain areas, who aren't going because of how everything is right now. So, and even within that, but like the price comparison to BOD and what they're getting, and Beachbody actually has like challenge pack price comparison breakdowns in the Coach Online office. So if you haven't looked at the Coach Online office and really like educated yourself on the products, on Shakeology, on the challenge pack and everything that encompasses, and like, so you understand the value, and that's what you can share, because there is so much freaking value. Like fitness is just a baseline. They get supplements, they get support, they get nutrition, 2 amazing nutrition programs now that used to be over $120 each, that come for free with the challenge pack. So it is very, very important, first and foremost, to educate yourself on the value that a challenge pack has to offer. And again, the Coach Online office has great resources, so you can learn like price comparisons and ingredients and everything just that is encompassed in there. But that's something that you want to share and talk about. And so next, I think Amber will talk about the belief part of that.
Yeah, and so I think a lot of educating yourself and just understanding, I think, can help you with objections, like projections and stuff like that, but also just straining your talk. We're just trying to share like what's helped, but I really, really, truly believe if someone only gets Beachbody on demand only, that they're doing themselves a disservice. Like, I just feel like they're not going to take it seriously. They're not going to go all in. I know that if I had not done a challenge and just done workouts, I would have found every excuse to not do them. Like me, the way I was at that time in my life, like I needed the nutrition, and we didn't even have we weren't even offering as big of, nutrition, like education at that time. It was just the portion fix. So for me, like I needed to mentally wrap my mind around a challenge. And so I lead with that, I lead with like in my heart and in my like brain, I'm like, you're not going to get the same experience if you don't. Okay, baby. If you just do workouts. That being said, of course, like I start with that. And then, if I get some objections, I'm not gonna like toddler life. I'm not gonna ever like not help someone. You can go get her. She's right there. But I think that just having that belief and like that true belief, because that will push past those like projections of money. Okay, well, maybe people don't have money because of COVID, or maybe people don't have money because of the holidays, or maybe like, and I'm not saying that stuff doesn't exist, but I just think that if you know like deep down and you truly believe that it's the best price for them, like down the road breaks down to be the best deal and they're going to get the best results, then I think going into it help a little bit more of like having those conversations. Like cure all, like not everyone's gonna like see your passion for what it is, but I think because I've always felt so strongly about that, it's conveyed in my ongoing consistency and like how I talk about what they're gonna get and what I offer. Also truly being a product of the product. I know that some people that are coaches are actually only doing the workouts. Like maybe they're not getting monthly supplements, they're not drinking Energize, maybe they're not following the meal plan. I'm not calling anyone out. I just know that and me and Kate were talking about how we've gone through periods of time where we haven't been as dialed in with everything either, so it happens. But people aren't going to enroll in something if you're not actually doing it. So that's why it's really like one of the 4 vitals is be a product of the product. And it's not just doing it, it's like God, it's not just doing it, it's talking about it and explaining that you're doing it, because you might be doing these things, but like to the general audience, they might not actually see the Energize you're drinking or the shake you're drinking. And it's not just about being I don't think everyone should share on their stories like a million facts and bombard everyone and be like a talking robot. But I also think it's good to have that consistency of you showing up and sharing your shake and sharing Energize, like, whatever it is that you are drinking or eating, sharing about that. And just a quick sentence about why it's good for you that day, whether it's a shake that you're making like on the go or whatever. No one's really on the go, but like a quick way to have a healthy meal, or Energize truly is the way I start my day every single day. And this is like good for me to remember too. Like I share my Energize every day, like on the stories, but I need to be talking about like why. So it's like truly being a product of the product, like looking at your own life, like do you usually take the supplements every day? And if you do, would your potential customers or even your current customers know that? And so not only for prospects, but like in your challenge groups, are you talking about it to your current customers? Are you talking about it? Yeah.
And I just want to add to like Amber and I said, we talked about times where we weren't 100% on our nutrition or following the workouts. Like, and I really believe there is a difference in like doing the workouts and actually doing the workouts. Like, when you're pushing yourself and you're seeing results. And if you're not seeing results, I think it's one of those areas. Either you're doing the workouts, but maybe you're not pushing yourself, meaning you're not challenging yourself. You're not taking it to that next step on the step, or you're not adding in that riser, or you're not pushing yourself in your reps, or you're not going up in weight, or you're not changing your bands. Like you're choosing, or you're doing the same program over and over and you're staying stuck with that. Or maybe it's time to switch up your nutrition plan. Maybe you've been following 2B mindset and you need to switch it up to ultimate portion fix, and you need to share about that. But we can't expect others to do what we're not doing and what we're not showing people that we're doing. So if you're not getting results and you're not like feeling good, that's what you're sharing, whether it's intentional or not. It comes up subconsciously. It comes up in how you feel. It comes out about how you talk about what you're doing. It comes across in your results. And it is really important to remember that your body is your business and your health is your business, and like your physical results are also your business. So when you commit to a program, like we just had the launch of 9-week Control Freak, and everybody on this team should be doing it, unless you're early postpartum, or have some like physical reason why you're not doing it. There's a difference. But like, you should be doing this program. You should be getting behind it 110%. You should be committed to a nutrition plan and picking your plan, whether it is portion fix, whether it's time nutrition, whether it's 2B mindset, sharing your supplements, and like, again, sharing how they fit into your life every day. And just like being very proud about that and very transparent on your social media and like in your challenge groups. And like, I wouldn't be getting the full results that I'm getting if I wasn't following this plan with this nutrition, because I think sometimes people think, like Amber said, the results just come from the workouts. When people get half-assed results just from doing the workouts, that's just life, because of nutrition and because of everything else. But because of the supplements, because of nutrition, and because of the accountability, like we have the full package. And I think sometimes we also forget there's a 30-day money back guarantee you can tell people about too. So if you don't love it, and I've only found the people who use that are the people who don't ever touch it, or they do something once and then they decide it's too hard, or they're not interested in doing the work behind it, are the people who use that 30-day money back guarantee. But again, just really, like, you know how you're feeling, but know that how you're feeling comes across in your messages. I can tell you from like my personal fitness journey, after like I tweaked my knee earlier last year, or at the end of last year, and then like I ate all the things, I was feeling really sluggish and really gross, and I'm finally feeling better like 2 weeks into 9-week Control Freak, like because my body's working out all the things that I was eating that didn't agree with me. But like my energy is better, and that's coming across. And that's because of the nutrition plan. That's not just because of workouts, but I'm enjoying the workouts. I'm getting behind them. But we have to remember it's our job to get behind them. And it's our job to follow the nutrition plans. It's our job to do that. And if you want other people to do that, you have to be doing that. You have to be walking the talk and talking about it. And you can't think what I'm sharing is annoying, because 9 times out of 10, people don't see it every day. And like, well, you're like, oh, I share my Energizer. Oh, I'm annoying because I'm sharing my workouts every day. Like, people don't look at your stories every day, or people skip through. Like, I don't know how many times I set my phone down and my phone is like going through somebody's stories and I didn't even watch them. And that's just an accidental thing. But I also like skip through stories all the time. So we need to like take our ego out of that. But yeah, just sharing like the benefits for everything, talking about the ingredients, talking about Recover, and like helping with your muscle recovery, and Energize and getting you going, and Amber's like mom crack every single day, and like your Shakeology, and like the key ingredients, and just different things. Like you can change it up, but it is really important that you're talking about the full spectrum with that. And even more so, you can also talk about the nutrition plans and show like recipes from that. Highlight 2B mindset for a week, or if you're following that with this program, or you know, the plan that you're using for portion fix, talking about your containers, but making sure you're telling people and talking about it and realizing like it comes with that, because people may not realize it. It's like you get all of this when you join my group with this pack.
And because I've been doing this for as long as I have, sometimes I'll hear from someone that maybe did Beachbody in the past, and they had Shakeology in the past, and they weren't like a crazy fan, and they're like, oh, do I have to get Shakeology with the workouts? So that's usually when I'm like, well, when was the last time you had Shakeology? Because it has been reformulated. There's new flavors. Or I'll just talk about the performance pack, you know, because they can do Energize and Recover. Oh my God, I have to go get more water because we're pouring water and giving it to the dog. BRB.
Toddler life, mom life, everything life.
But I wanted to say also that the thing about skipping stories, there's so much content going on that even if you love someone, like there's no way that you're going to have the mental capacity to like watch all the stories of all the people that you love. Most of us are busy, even if we're on our phones a lot. And so I totally believe in consistency of just sharing these things without expectation almost daily, because I know that like you're not going to catch everyone every day, and you might catch someone that didn't care about that energized post one day, but then for whatever reason the next day they were like, wait a minute, what's that you're drinking? So I really do believe in the power of the consistency of the things, because yeah, like you can't just do it a couple times and expect anything to come of it, because there's just so much content. Like if anyone sends me a message like longer than this, I'm like, I can't. There's like so much like information coming from everywhere. I'm like, oh, can we just simplify? And I feel like a lot of people feel that way. But yeah, so just, getting in the habit, if you aren't already, if you are doing it, great, keep doing it. But we're just trying to go through all of the points that we can make to kind of just help strengthen that. Like, because people see us doing the workouts, but if we're having a problem with the challenge pack, then maybe it's a disconnection with the supplement part. People are like, I don't want that. So I think it's just breaking down whatever walls there are there and just talking openly about what you love about it. And Autumn with Super Weekend was talking about her stack, like what's your stack, or show us your stack. And it's like in the fitness world, that's like your supplements and your pre, your post and all that stuff. So, and then I saw actually Danny on our team did like a post about how that was cute. So, talk about stack, like on your stories, like what it is that, gets you going. Like people are interested in that stuff. So I thought that was cute. I'll probably do like some type of post like that. Another note I had was just doing your pictures of whatever it is that you're sharing, and then just having like a little quick sentence about it. I need to get better about doing the closed caption. I asked Rachel today about what app she's doing. I know Mary uses it too, a closed caption app, because I get in the habit of talking a lot and not everyone's listening. Sometimes people are like in bed and they have the sound off. So it's a good reminder to have like closed caption or like some kind of text over an image, just because people aren't always listening. And then Kate, you're going to show graphics, right? Because I feel like that was the last thing, but yeah. I kind of, maybe before you share that, we could talk about tips of upgrading like your people.
Yeah. And I also wanted to add one other thing too. Like, even if you feel like you're annoying and you share your shake every day and you share your workouts every day and you share your energize every day and you're covering all the things and you're like, God, I'm so freaking annoying. You never know the one day somebody needs to see what you're sharing and how it will all click. And I want you to think about what you saw your coach post, or how they made you feel, or how you felt in that day, because everybody has that turning point. I was thinking about that today, because when I first looked and reached out to Amy, I was like, I can't afford that. I can't do that. I can't do that. But then I was like, you know what? Like, I need to make this work. And there's truly like, either you're going to make it work or you're going to make an excuse. And at that time, Amy was like, you need a challenge pack to get into my group. That's the only way you get in. I was like, okay. So I was gonna, like, there wasn't a plan B. There wasn't just VOD, and there wasn't VOD back then anyways. It was just DVDs. But she was like, you can't just buy the DVDs to get in this group. Like, this is a special group. You need to get the challenge pack. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't afford it, da, 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 da. And then I ended up borrowing money from my boyfriend at the time to do it so I could invest in myself. But like, it took a really shitty day of like a really hard, feeling like crap. And like, I saw her post something, and that day I was like, okay, you know what? So never count yourself out in what you're sharing, because again, you never know what day or like who's seeing your stuff and how it's going to relate to them and how they're going to respond to it. So I think it's also like sharing the little things with that too. And like, because for me, it wasn't necessarily like always the before and after. It's like I saw a post about Kevin taking a picture of Amy and Amy feeling good in her skin. And I actually redid a post like that because of my boyfriend taking a photo of me and me not hating it and like wanting to delete the photo. Like, that kind of stuff resonates with people, and sharing about how these workouts and these products and this whole pack, like, or not even, you don't even have to say like this whole wellness pack or this whole package that you get, whether it's this or your whole wellness routine with these workouts and these superfoods and these supplements, like, make you feel this good in this nutrition plan. Because you don't want to just say these workouts again because you're selling yourself short. You're sharing that, and that's what people are going to hear. That's what they're going to see. But I think like sharing those little things and then tying what you have to offer back into those victories is what, sorry, my cat just went psycho, will make it like relatable to people. But I just want to ask that.
Also, Kate, you probably like, because you were like, okay, like I have to get this challenge pack to be in this group. You probably took it pretty seriously, I would think, right? Like you were like, okay, I got it. I like borrowed money. I'm freaking doing this.
I
And
worked at a bakery at the time. And
yeah,
I was surrounded by that shiz all the time. And I remember my boss was so mean. She was like, you can just taste everything and spit it out. But I did. I did.
but yeah, I think it's like sharing that stuff, whatever your story. I don't know what everybody here signed up with, but I mean, I'm pretty sure most of us have bought a challenge pack, so I think it's just remembering where we were at mentally, like what like sacrifices do we feel like maybe we were making. I don't know, just that kind of stuff can kind of help inspire how you share and talk about it, because then I think the more you address that stuff, the less pushback you'll get when you're like, okay, here's what you're gonna get, and they're like, whoa, I don't want all that, so you kind of have to think about like, well, how are we presenting it in the first place? But there are going to be people, like, you don't want to turn people away, obviously, like if they really want to work with you and they don't have the means to do it. I've always made it like, if you need to get into my challenge pack or my challenge group for the first time, you have to get a challenge pack. And then after that, I always tell people like, hey, like I'm just upfront, like, hey, if you're going to get a month's worth of, Shakeology or the performance line, and there's no obligation to continue to order. You're going to have access to your workouts for an entire year. I want to keep working with you past this challenge. I make that clear so they don't feel like they have to make this huge commitment before they've even tried it, like, because, we're hoping that they try it and they fall in love with it like we have. But I don't want to overwhelm someone with this like monthly obligation. So I'm like pretty upfront about that. So that's always helped me. Like I've been pretty strict about that, like to get into my group. But once they're already a customer, of course, like I'm not taking them out. What I find is that even people that don't end up purchasing, like say they got a challenge pack and then 6 months goes by, whatever, being in that group, being in my groups and seeing other people post about their supplements, or anytime a new program comes out, like most likely they're at some point going to reorder, which was going to be where I was going to my point for, if you have a customer that just signed up for a trial or signed up for a 3-month or 6-month or a year, you just really want to make sure that you designate like 2 days a month that you go into your online office and you look at your customers and you look at you can click on their like ID number and it'll bring up like their customer ID. This is how I do it anyways. And then it'll like bring up their order history and like when they ordered. So you can see like what they're on, and then you can send them a message and be like, hey, your 3-month is going to renew. I think it might be time to consider, instead of paying $40, and over time, if you keep doing this all year, you're going to spend more money, so I just kind of break it down for them. And it's easier when you have a smaller customer base. So I really think it's a good idea as a newer coach with a smaller customer base to get in the habit of doing this, putting it on your calendar, like 2 days a month where you go through and you're just like on top of what your customers are ordering and what's going to renew, because then you can be on top of it, make recommendations, start that conversation. You can also, it's also a really great way to segue into coaching. Like if you know that they have purchased stuff like sporadically, and they're like, oh, I want to, but I just can't afford to keep doing it. You can always be like, hey, you could do the coach thing. Especially if you're going to recommend a challenge pack. Hey, you've already tried the supplements. I know you love Energize. So, if you're going to, instead of doing this $99 renewal, why don't you just spend $160 or do 9 weeks free with me? It's going to be a little bit more, but you're going to get so much stuff. And then you can consider like possibly enrolling as a coach because it's free, and then you'll save 25% off. So it just starts those conversations, so that's what I really recommend to do, to just be on top of it. Like if you try and they say no and it just isn't happening, of course you want a customer, you know, like you want to help them. You know, it's not all about the sale, but at the same time, I would be really diligent about like following up before they renew.
I wanted to add too, because I just remembered talking about BOD. The prices are going up in February. I think it goes from like the quarterly goes from $40 a month to 60, and the 6 month goes from whatever it was to like 80. So, or 70. So definitely like, yeah, it's going up. Thankfully, they're still keeping the annual at 99. But that just shows like it's a good place to show the value of being like, no, it makes so much more sense for you to get this pack because yes, you're getting all this for $100, but you're getting even more with that. And also if you do get somebody started with just BOD, I would even check in within the first month to see what they're thinking about upgrading too, because I think sometimes like we forget because you can get reimbursed and then have them upgrade to a pack with that as well. But talking about, that's why it goes back to in your challenge group, sharing your shakes, sharing your energize, sharing all those things and talking about that too, because the more they're in your community and the more they see you sharing about it on your stories, it's just reiterating like how great it is. It's the same with like beach bars, and I don't talk about that stuff enough. I see Katie talk about beach bars more than anything, and it's funny because it's like every time she has one in her stories, I automatically go grab one because I'm like, oh, I need a beach bar now. But it's just important to remember that same thing is like when you're sharing about those things, the more times in your groups and on your stories, like that's creating that association with your current customers and also people who you're talking to about it too. But
yeah, and if anyone else has any like specific, you know, conversations that have happened, I know that there's been some posts and we've like replied to them in the team pages, but if feel free to chime in or post if in the chat if there's anything that you're like, yeah, but this, because you know, maybe we can all help each other too. You can always post in the team pages too if you're like, hey, here's, you know, screenshot it, be like, I don't know what to say. Like this conversation happened, now what? So, you know, we can always help each other kind of brainstorm ways to handle objections or word things.
And I also want to add, because what's wrong? Oh, sorry. Rowan is standing on my step and he's acting like he can't get down, and he knows he can't because crying anyways. He saw me loud. My child. Okay. Stop it. He's looking at himself in the mirror in my stuff and cracking himself up. Okay, you guys, I'm sorry. What I was trying to say was again, I don't know. I have my headphones in, so you guys can't hear him laughing, crying. But what was I going to say? Oh, about talking about things. Where was I going? Oh, I wanted to add, if for some reason somebody can't have Shakeology or the performance line, like I have a couple girls in my challenge group who are allergic to caffeine or have some like crazy food allergies and they literally can't do anything within the supplements, then that's one thing. Like, don't be like, you can't join my group because you have this like reason. If you've talked to them and you know that, I think that's one thing. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But I also figured I could share the graphics. We were talking about how to add value, and a great way to do this, and I've done it. I think I've seen Teresa do it. I've seen Katie do it. I've done it myself, but like adding, and Amber's done it, making slides for programs. I need to update mine. So I just stole Amanda's for 9 Week Control Freak. I just literally went on her stories right before this. I was like, I'm going to update mine. And then it didn't happen. Can you guys see these? Yeah. Okay. So Amanda's first, like she made, whether it's Canva, whether it's on the app over, you can do these on your phone. And then she made this cute little like first screen when she's talking about her group. So it's generally after she posts her workouts. She's like, if you want to join me, like check out my slides. Amy does them too. Meredith does them too. These are just some super cute, easy things to do and then have on your phone. And then it's literally adding value and sharing more than just your workouts every time you're talking about your workouts. So Amanda made this cute little slide. And then she talks about what it is, a private community of women who are committed to showing up daily for themselves and their health. And she's explaining what the challenge group is, of course, like adding value to it. And I love the cute little pictures she added in. And then talking about the workouts, talking about the variety, but specifically with 9-week control freak right now, and adding value to that. And then there's a slide on nutrition, touching on that key factor. And she goes into the 2 nutrition plans, which again, I think is sometimes we don't talk about enough. And they're normally way more by themselves than now being in the packs, which is awesome. And then she literally breaks down what you get when you get a challenge pack: early access to the newest home fitness program, a year of unlimited membership to our online workouts, nutrition guides, your choice of holistic sports performance or supplements, 30 superfood meals, weekly meal plans and shopping lists, monthly challenges with prizes, support, accountability, and community. And of course, like she does the prizes and meal plans, so that's a separate thing that she added in there. But you can literally make a cute little slide and do that whole thing. And then the details, like with the date, a prep calendar, currently $20 off enrollment packages. And she even says the price here, packages ranging from $160 to $220. So she's being very straightforward and sharing all the cost. And then she was sharing results, which again are adding value. But it's a great way. I know literally I see these on Amanda's stories every 24 hours. So I've even seen her like post them with her workouts, and then 9 hours later, like before the 24 hours is up, because she's posted her workouts again, she deletes the old ones that she posted, like however much, like 9 hours prior, and we'll post them again. So again, it's just being very like, not in your, I wouldn't say in your face, that's the wrong verbiage and that makes it sound negative. She's just like showing people again what there is to what value there is, and it's showing somebody it's more than just the workouts. And I think it's a great little thing to do. It takes a little time to sit there and do that, whatever app, but then once you have them and you can adjust them for each program, you can make them cute, make them your own. I think you can even buy them on Etsy. I've seen coaches sell that kind of stuff if you don't feel like making your own and outsourcing. But you can look at like Amanda's, you can look at Amy posts the same thing or a variation of the same thing, Meredith Ganal, which is like Boho Fit Girl on Instagram. And there are a lot of other coaches who do, but I just wanted to share because again, it's a great way to like show all the value. And so one of my things tonight is going to be updating that so I can share those. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts or way that they've been adding value that they feel like has been working for them?
One of the things I've been doing is, because a lot of people are so hesitant to sign up for shakes and the supplements and all because they get the auto ship, is I tell them that I'll put a reminder in my phone to reach out to them so that they remember to cancel if they need to. And it's like, I'd say probably it's about 50-50 where they continue on with it or they cancel on their own, but it helps them feel like they're not going to get screwed out of a bunch of money. I always say, go back in, check out, like, because the Nutrition Plus too, like, I hate to say it, but I don't see a whole lot of extra value in it right now. But I tell, it's like, if you're going to get that, if you want to, I don't know, cancel your subscriptions, just get in your back office. Here's a link.
I did that too. Oh, sorry, Kate.
Oh, you're fine. I was just going to add, they do send an email a week prior to everything shipping, and before things run through, but it's never a bad idea to send that either, because people miss all that stuff and then they blame you and then they freak out.
Yeah, I was going to say I did that too, and a lot of people responded really well to it. I had a few people ask me if I had like a tutorial like on my computer that I could send them that like shows me going in to show them exactly which buttons to press to go look at like their stuff like that, especially like in the back office, like going through like how to go check your shipments and how to go check stuff, which I thought was unusual because if you're a coach, you have that already. But I think the more like hand with people, the more comfortable they are with you, like the more trusting they are. So that's what I was doing.
One thing you can do too, and I did it a lot as a new coach, is getting on the phone with someone for 30 minutes after they sign up and telling them, talking about it on your stories, using it as value you can have to offer, and being like, or even call it like a 30-minute consultation. This is how I closed people all the time as a new coach. And then after they signed up, I would get on the phone and I would explain how the workouts work, how the groups work. And you can explain like how to get on. You can, hop on Zoom and share your screen and show them. And again, make it like a very hands-on thing. But that's something I did all the time as a new coach. I got on the phone and I would talk about that as like, again, value you have to offer, and being like, I'm happy to get on the phone and answer any questions. Because again, it makes it a lot more real and relatable, and then they can share or express any concerns that they have. Megan said in the chat, what's the closed captioning app? So I don't actually use one. I know Amy and Amanda use one. Is one called Threads? I know there's multiple.
I asked Rachel today and she said Threads.
Okay, Threads is right.
when
I've
I
seen
looked
that's
at
one
the
Amy
comments,
used.
Yeah, and then she sent me a screenshot. I don't know why it didn't come up when I looked in the apps, but yeah, it like basically somehow takes what you're saying and then puts text so people can read, which is nice. So then you don't have to like sum up everything you're saying and have a million typos like me.
I was gonna share that, like, to increase people not only posting but also to do a raffle. I'm raffling off Energize this month on our team page, and I think that that's gonna hype up people, because I'm like, this is a $50 value. I use it every day, just talking about it, and it's totally increased posting. And I think that whoever doesn't win it is gonna be like, well, now I really still want to try it, because I was like, sorry, of course, I was really wanting that. And I know that's not something we can all do because it's expensive, but it just so happened I got the lemon and I didn't like it. I like the mixed berry better. So I'm like, well, I have this extra lemon. What's a good way to use it? And so it gets everybody talking about it. And so people who are already using it are like, oh, this is awesome. So I thought that was kind of a cool way to talk about it with my people who only signed up for VOD and didn't get like the performance and whatnot. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then you're still allowing everyone to have a chance to win, whether or not whatever they purchase, like as long as they're just like a participant in your group. So I love that. I'm actually getting ready to move. So I was going through my supplements and I found something that was really expired. And I'm just like, I have to throw this away. 2 things. Such a fucking waste of money. But I basically have extra Shakeology that I'm going to raffle off in some way. But now at this point, I think I'm just going to wait till February. But yeah, just anything that you have extra of. Something that I want to get back into. I was talking to Annalise, she's not on here, but we had like a one-on-one the other day, and I wanted to just share something that she said, because she was like, I really want to grow my team this year, but I know that one way I need to do that is by being the person that like I want on my team, like being on team calls. And I'm like, yeah. So it's like the more we talk about and share about anything that whatever we are lacking, like what we want, we just need to talk about that more. And so I had a point. Oh, because she said, yeah, I've been really enjoying sending thank you cards, which I need to get back to. So anytime anyone like enrolls with you, it's such a nice touch to send someone like just a postcard, or like I used to do that. I mean, I need to do it again because it doesn't take that long, and it's just like such a sweet, cheap thing you can do. But anyone that bought, I'm not sure how she did it, but she was giving away packets of Shakeology. So that would obviously be, more of an investment. But I have some extra boxes of packets. So I was thinking that I would do that maybe for the whole month of February. Anyone that buys a challenge pack, I'm just going to send them. So, it's that is money, but it's something you could do. If you don't want to invest, you can just do like a free postcard. If you wanted, do a Shakeology packet, you could even do like energy. You could buy an Energize of like 40 packets and send those out. Cause that's another way to get people interested in trying out different things that maybe they wouldn't try. So I know I want to get back to that because that's just good customer service. People really love handwritten notes. So I want to do that again.
Along the same lines, that's actually on my to-do list this week. I bought single packets of Energize, Recover, and individual packets of Shakeology, so I can just send out to all of my current customers, because a lot of them signed up with the $99 and it never got to the, like, just reminding them like how amazing Energize is. I don't know how people work out without Energize.
I know, for real. I take it before yoga. I'm like, oops, oh well. It's like I need it to survive. I don't know.
I mix
Plus-
it with sparkling water as a mocktail.
I like that. I've been just mixing all sorts of random stuff in there. I ran out of my collagen because I was doing collagen every day, but I was putting my power greens in there. I have some like mushroom blend by Forcematic. I've put that in there. I'm like, what else can I throw in here? But what was I gonna say? Shoot, I had something I was gonna say. I have a brain fart. Sorry, maybe it'll come back to me. Mix that with White Claw. Woohoo! Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So I follow Dr. Laura, whatever her last name is. She's like a Beachbody coach who's also a functional medicine doctor. Love her stuff. It's a little controversial, but I love it. But she was talking about quercetin, which is in Shakeology, and how quercetin is like a known anti-inflammatory, like immune booster. And a lot of functional medicine doctors or holistic doctors like will prescribe that supplement on its own to just help boost immunity, 500 milligrams. And one scoop of Shakeology has 500 milligrams in it. So like, I'm not saying you should say, you know, this is going to prevent you from getting any sicknesses, but you could talk about how it's an, you know, immunity booster. I definitely am. So I was very, very excited about that because I was taking notes on, she did a video on supplements to take in general to increase your immunity. Just so I'll share because I'm a nerd and I like this stuff. Vitamin D, D3 with K2, magnesium. Apparently magnesium levels are low in most people and it actually affects our absorption of vitamin D. So they go hand in hand. You can do salt baths. It's supposed to be absorbed through the skin more effectively. So I actually have a lotion, but I've been doing salt baths. But yeah, that and then quercetin and vitamin C. So I was like, sweet. I'm glad I'm getting my daily quercetin in.
Isn't that also an Energize, or am I thinking about something else?
Did I not say Energize? I meant it's an Energize.
Okay, I was like, I think you said Shakeology, and I was like,
Oh,
is it
sorry.
in
I
Shakeology
meant
too?
to say Energize. It's in
Okay.
Energize. I don't know
Okay.
what I was saying. I meant to say it's in Energize 100%. It's not in Shakeology.
Okay, I was like, wait. Sorry.
I didn't even know I'm glad you corrected me because I didn't
Is that the person also that you shared like the birth control thing?
Yeah.
Is that the same? Okay.
Yeah, she did a national wake up call that had to be taken down.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, because of some medical claims. She's a doctor. I mean, I don't know. I like her approach, and she's like dancer, Beachbody, but also functional medicine. So I like learning from her. So yeah, I like following her.
I think it's also fun to watch different coaches like throughout the network and see how different people share and how different people add value, because it gives you ideas. And you don't have to follow everybody, because I also don't want you following a bunch of coaches and then getting stuck in your head, because I've done that, being like, I don't know what to post, because should I post what this person does or this person does or whatever. But like, try different things, see what feels good to you and different ways you can incorporate it into your post and in your life. And just like, not overcomplicate it, but if you're struggling with ideas or like that content, like look at what other people are doing and see, you know, how you can maybe try that out or make it your own when you're trying it out though.
Yeah, I definitely get inspired. Like I like that you shared Amanda's stories. I saw those and I was like, oh, that's so good. And I've seen her share them a lot. I know you said that, but she shares them like every day, maybe. I don't know. I don't watch her stories every day, but I feel like every time I watch her stories, they're in there. So a good, like, repetition is key. But I am selective with the coaches that I do follow, because I think that it's important. Like, it's really good to get inspiration, but then it's also good to catch yourself if you're getting like imposter syndrome or feeling like overwhelmed. Like sometimes I don't know, like I get almost like,
Comparison, I feel like.
yeah, like I start to just like, I don't even know what to say anymore. And so I do follow some coaches, but I follow less than I used to. But I still follow the same girls on our own team that have always inspired me and influenced me. So I follow who you want. But I think if you find someone that shares in a way that you're like, yeah, like I really like her style, keep following that person. But there's some people that I started to follow and I was like, I can't do this anymore because it's making me feel crazy.
Yeah, if you ever feel like you're getting in comparison, because I've talked about this with Amy and Amanda and like even other leaders too, and they just unfollow top coaches and they unfollow their friends. And it's like now you can like mute profiles, you can mute stories if you don't want to, but I honestly don't think unfollowing is that much. People make it really personal. It doesn't have to be. This is like a business. And if it's making you feel crummy, like follow your gut and just know that like, do your personal development, do what feels right for you. You don't have to be perfect. This is just like, we're generally sharing some things that can help and just to like get ideas and get some creative juices flowing, like finding inspiration from other people. But yeah, if it ever starts making you feel crummy or you feel like you're comparing yourself too much to that person or like it's, you just spilled water all over my crotch. Just like unfollow or mute or any of those things.
I didn't know if anyone read Kayla's message, but she was just talking about vitamins. She said I got confused what I should be taking more or little of. Sometimes I take a multi, but since I started Shakeology, I haven't really took any at all. But lately a multi and elderberry, but I am sure individual would be better to look into instead of multi. Yeah, I mean, I feel like all of us are really aware of like our nutrition, like the fact that we are aiming to eat cleaner than most of the population, that we're drinking Shakeology, that we're moving our bodies and we're doing things that are benefiting our mental well-being. All of those things I think are great health support. But yeah, I don't take any personally. I take supplements, but just the ones I said, like vitamin D, because I live in the Pacific Northwest too. So like I know that I'm deficient. So I guess it depends on where you live. And then vitamin C and zinc. That was another one. But only because of like COVID and like it being winter and like flu season. So I don't know, like everyone's different with their multi. I don't take a multi anymore just because I have my Shakeology and I try to eat well. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. I don't know what anyone else has to say about it. Cool. Well, we have 10 more minutes. Does anyone else have anything they want to add? Any more vitamin talk? I'm just kidding. Turn it into a vitamin call.
I made Shakeology bars or bowls for the first time, and I just want to share, and they were delicious. Like I've never actually put Shakeology into like the ball form, but I highly suggest it. It was like I've made it into mousse and put it all in ice cream, but I've never done the ball. So good. And I thought I was gonna like eat them all, but they were so rich that like 2 of them were perfect. So
what was your
just highly
recipe? You have to
recommend.
share.
I did that today. It was like the highlight.
You're gonna have to share.
It was really easy. I'll post it in the pages because I took pictures too. Yeah, I'll totally share it. They were delicious. So that was the highlight of my day.
I think that
wasn't weird.
I have a question.
Wait, Teresa, what were you saying about the balls?
Oh, the texture wasn't weird.
They were just kind of like chewy a little bit. I totally hand blended them. It wasn't like a processor or anything like that. So they did have more like, I don't know, like chunks, I guess, in it. It wasn't like finely done. So but it wasn't powdery, wasn't gritty, like nothing like that at all, like blended up really well. So I'm going to make I took pictures of ingredients. So I'll share them with you guys too, because so good.
Amber once made these. I have specific memories, Amber, of you making these vegan vanilla ones that tasted like cookie dough.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I got that recipe from Amanda, and
So
they're,
good.
they're so good. It's vanilla. Like, I don't remember exactly, but I know it has cashew butter, which is so good, and vanilla, vegan vanilla, which I think vegan vanilla has a different flavor than regular vanilla. Like, vegan vanilla tastes more cake battery to me. I can't remember. I could find the recipe. There, you only want to have two because they are higher fat with the cashews, but they taste like cake batter. They're so good.
Those were correct. Those were the best ones. I mean, I've had a lot over the years, and there's so many good recipes on the blog for that too. But yeah, those ones were my favorite.
Did someone have a question? I feel like when Teresa was talking, someone else asked.
I did. I just was gonna say about like when you like I sometimes have been putting it in my oatmeal when it kind of cools down so it's not super hot. But what about overnight oats? Will that ruin it? Should I do it in the morning? Like, because it's so cold, I don't want to eat a smoothie right now. Like, I'm like, I know that sounds crazy, but it's like, it's freezing here. And so I want to be warm and cozy, but I still want my Shakeology.
So I think the rule of thumb is you don't cook it. That cooks the superfoods out. And then when it's blended, it needs to be eaten within 30 minutes. But I think if it's not blended and like stored, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know, because if you're putting it in the fridge overnight, technically you're activating some of those enzymes. So it's not as bad
In the
as
morning?
yeah, I would maybe do my overnight oats like normal, maybe like with whatever almond milk or water, or however you make it, and then add it in the morning. Just if you wanted the full nutrients. I mean, it's not gonna like hurt you, but if you wanted like potent nutrients, I would.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I just was scared I would ruin it, you know, like it would go bad or something.
Yeah, it kind of does take, like, I did an overnight oats and it did have a kind of a weird aftertaste. I don't know if I imagined it, but I do think I should have mixed it in the next morning. So I think that's where I went wrong.
Okay.
Oh, I was also going to say, I don't want to eat anything cold either. And so this might sound really gross, but I've just been doing room temperature shakes. Like, I'll do just like a banana and like spinach and no ice. But I like drink it faster. It doesn't like make my whole body cold. It still tastes good.
And my face, like it takes me back to one of our trips that it happened because I stayed at a hostel and we didn't have ice and we made room temperature Shakeology. I don't know. It's not ideal. I couldn't drink it every day personally. Maybe I'm just a Shakeology snub after 7 years. I like that.
Temperature now. I mean, it's not very cold where we're at. So Nevada, Southern Nevada doesn't get cold. So in comparison, we don't. But I've been doing the cafe latte one with like a scoop of instant coffee and doing it room temperature. So just like normal coffee, because I drink coffee coldish anyway as a mom. So.
Do you blend it or do you just stir it?
Oh no, I gotta blend it. I just put it in like the NutriBullet because I can't. The first time I ever made Shakeology, I just shook it and it was disgusting. I couldn't do it. Like
I remember your post or message to me.
I was like, oh, this is bad. Like, this can't happen. But yeah, no, I just blend it real quick and then drink it.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, and one more thing as far as like other coaches to follow. I don't follow a lot of coaches anymore because it's stressing me out. But Kate Nielsen, I don't know what team she's on, but she's talked a bunch like in Amy's stuff and all kinds of things. I follow her. She's one of the very few plus size Beachbody coaches that I've ever seen just mainstream. And I really like her wording. She does like slides every day or other day, especially now with 9 Week Control Freak. But normally like once a week or once every 2 weeks, she'd post something like how I can work with you this month is her wording. And I was like, and then it goes down like the different paths you can take. But I really like her stuff.
She's my sister coach. She's Amy's PS. She's a very sweet person. I like her.
Yeah, I like that reminder of just making it so clear how people can work with you. Like, it's just a good reminder. Like, you know, people can see you being inspiring all day, but if they don't know like what steps they can take to work with you, there's like going to be a miss there, you know? I have a friend that's trying to build his personal training business, and he posts all his like he does, but never anything about working with him. So I gave him like a talking to. I was like, okay, you got to make this crystal clear, because people are intimidated. They don't know. They're like, oh, that person's cool, and they don't know, you know, that they can work with you unless you're like, I like that wording too. Like, this is how you can work with me this month. Like, you're just literally telling the person what they can do to work with you. I love that.
And she does a lot of not Beachbody stuff too. Like, she's doing a step bet, I think. Like, she does a bunch of different stuff like that. She does step bets, and she does like all these other things. So how I see it is she's gaining customers slowly from like a 360 view of her. So even if they're not going to start with her as Beachbody, they'll slowly see how like her Beachbody stuff pours into everything else, and she's slowly grabbing them. And I'm like, ooh, that's so smart.
And it's providing a value in some way without expectation too. Just like another way, like whether you're providing like a free recipe or a free challenge, or, you know, like 75 hard. I did like a challenge for that, and that was totally separate from Beachbody. And, you know, I think we had like 70 to 100 people in that group that me and my friend ran. That was nothing to do with Beachbody, but I did end up signing up 2 people with challenge packs later that were interested in doing home workouts, you know? So it's like anything we can do. It doesn't have to all be Beachbody all day long, but yeah, like anything we can do to try to provide value is smart.
And it bridges that gap and makes you more approachable too. So connections. Well, I think this was a good first call of 2021. I loved seeing this many people on. I think, yeah, it'll just help having these every other week. Hopefully more people continue to get on, and we're going to work on getting guest speakers and having, sorry, Rowan is smashing my water bottle against the bench. But anyways, this is really good. Thank you guys so much for hopping on, and I'll get the recording up soon.